Hey, Point Youth leaders, this video is for those that are going on the spring retreat. So the reason why I'm doing a video compared to an in-person is simply because of the baptisms that are going to be happening on the 15th. We don't want to rush you up here to a meeting with the baptisms that are going to be happening. I know there's cleanup that has to happen. And just if the services go long, I don't want you guys to have to rush out. And so that's why we're doing the video compared to an in-person meeting this time. I will tell you this is going to be rare because I do want to have a regular meeting, an in-person meeting for our retreats, simply for you to ask questions, for us to go over the details that are needed. So this video is going to be very short, simply because I want to go over what to expect for the retreat. Okay, fair enough? Also, I want to tell you, thank you. Thank you for committing to the Point Youth Ministry. Thank you for committing to the spring retreat. This retreat would not happen if it wasn't for you. We're going to have over 100 students there, and honestly, we can't do that with just Bella, Lacey, and I. It can't happen. We need all of our leaders to be there and to help as much as possible, honestly, to herd the cats. It's very much like that. And so, honestly, thank you for committing to this weekend. I know that you are going away from your family. I know that there's things that you could be doing at home, and we really appreciate you committing to being with the students and pouring into the students all weekend. I know it's tiring. I know it's a long weekend. We're all exhausted by the end of it, but honestly, again, we couldn't do it without you, so we really appreciate that. Secondly, I want to tell you our spring retreat. The theme for this year is called Your Mess Matters. And Tyree Sterling is back with us again. Excited to have him. But this series, or this theme, Your Mess Matters, is going to be important to our students because the idea of bringing all of your junk, and God is going to do something in your junk, in your mess. And he's going to go over the prodigal son and how he left thinking that there was something greater out there, and he found out that it wasn't as great as what he thought. And so he literally had to live in the pigsty. He had to live in the grossness of life. But then whenever he came back home, his father rewarded him. And so that's what we're going to be talking about this weekend. And so Your Mess Matters is going to be important for our students. It's really going to hit home, hopefully, for what they're dealing with, what their life struggles are, and just the challenges and the mess that they have to deal with, either when they go home or when they go to school. And so be prepared for that. That's the series, or that's the theme for the weekend. Also, along with that, all of our games are going to match that. And so we're going to have some fun games that they're going to do, and it's the idea of digging in, getting into the trenches of things, and they're going to have to find ping pong balls. They're going to have to dig through and build a tower of trash, clean trash. And so those are some of the games that we're going to be doing. Again, it's the idea of messy, but it's not going to be messy. It's not going to be gross. I promise you that. That's one thing that we didn't want to do. We don't want to make a mess for the camp, and also we don't want to make a mess for our students and for you. So next, I want to go over the schedule. We will have a schedule. This is the schedule for the weekend. And so I want to go over this very quickly just with you. First of all, on Friday night, we are going to have pizza. Okay, so when we get up to the camp at 6:30, we're going to have dinner together. And at that point, that'll be the first time that we get to interact with all of our students. And so we'll start out with dinner. Then at 7 o'clock, we will welcome them in the gym. That'll also be the first game that we have. Then we'll go right into worship. We'll start our session at 7:30 with Tyree. That'll be the first session of the weekend. We'll end with worship. Then we go into small groups. Small groups is where you come in. Okay, this is where you get to pour into your students. You will have students in your small group that you may not know. My encouragement is to talk to them, get to know who they are. You're going to be with them all weekend. And so we really want to make sure that anybody who's in your group is familiar to you and they understand and they know who you are, okay? And so that's a small group time. That's going to be roughly about 8:30. Also, free time is going to happen at 9. At that same time, please get the word out. I want to meet with the baptism students. Okay, we have 6 people being baptized, and so we want to meet with them, go over what to expect, And so that's going to happen actually in the big room where we're going to be meeting in the gym. But at the same time, there's also going to be free time in the gym. And so, so we just want to make sure that that those two things are going to happen coincide. And so that way students, we can explain to students again what to expect, but free time is going to happen at 9 o'clock, okay? Room checks are going to be at 10:30, like always, and then lights out at 11. Please help us with that. Make sure that the lights are out. We will go through and just say goodnight to all the students, and we'll say goodnight to you as leaders, and we will shut the lights out throughout the camp. But please make sure that you guys are in bed and the students are in bed, ready to go to sleep at 11 o'clock as much as possible. I know last year we did have some complaints that there were some rooms that stayed up and were making lots of noise, and we just want to be respectful to the other rooms around you because you may have some students that really need that sleep, aka you may have some leaders that really need that sleep. So please be respectful to that, okay? Then we wake up at 7 o'clock. Breakfast is at 8 on Saturday. We're going to do an individual devotion. That's going to be at 8:45. 8:45 to 9:15 is going to be the individual devotion. Please help with this as far as getting the students to settle down, to spend time with the Lord. In their booklet is going to be the individual devotion. Okay, so we're going to ask them to walk through that and just kind of spend some time with the Lord, making sure they have their Bible and that they are spending time just reading through the scriptures that are going to be provided within the individual, within the devotion. Okay, then we're going to welcome them at 9:15. We're going to do the game. At 9:30, we're going to do 2 songs of worship, and then 9:45 is going to be session 2. Okay, that'll be with Tyree, of course, and then we'll end with a song, and then at 10:25, we will have a small group time again, and then free time at 11 o'clock in the gym or throughout the camp. Lunch is at 12. Then we have our breakouts. This is something that we started last year, and we're going to do that again. So we do a breakout 1 is going to be at 1 o'clock, and then breakout 2 is going to be at 2 o'clock. The breakouts will go for 45 minutes, so there will be 15 minutes in between each session. But the students will be assigned to a breakout. They've actually already chosen their breakout whenever they signed up, and so they'll be assigned to those. And so please just help with that. Make sure that the students are going where they need to go. Then at 3 o'clock, it'll be free time until 5 o'clock, which is dinner. 6 o'clock will be worship starting, 3 songs, and then 6:30 will be the session. Session's going to begin. At 7:30, there's going to be a personal reflection time. What we're going to do is we're going to ask the students and leaders to spread out in the gym, and they're going to spend some time, again, just reflecting on the challenge that Tyree is going to give them. And so that's going to go roughly about 15 minutes. And then right out of that, we're going to come back and we're going to do communion together at 7:45. 8:15 is going to be worship. And then at 8:30, we'll do small group time again. Okay? And then at 9 o'clock, of course, it'll be free time. Same thing, 10:30 in the rooms, 11 o'clock lights out. All right? And then Sunday, we're going to have breakfast at 8 o'clock. We're going to do a group photo at 8:45 in the morning. 9 o'clock, we'll do game. 9:15 worship, 2 songs, and then the last session will start at 9:30, and that'll be the last session with Tyree. God stories will happen right after that, and then we're hoping baptism will happen right around 10:15 to 10:30, and that'll happen right in the gym and right up front. And so when that happens, when we do say that we're going to do worship or do baptism, please come up front. We would love all the students to just sit down on the floor, leaders to sit on the floor or in the chairs right up front, and let's just celebrate the students and leaders that are going to be baptized. So that's going to be happening at roughly 10:15 to 10:30. And then 2 songs to close out at 11 o'clock, and then we go right into cleanup. Cleanup is important that we do exactly what's on the handout sheet. And we don't have to clean the dining hall. Let me just tell you that. We don't have to clean the dining hall. There's a group coming in at, I think, 11:30, 12 o'clock, and Camp Ulijua said they will take care of cleaning the dining hall, and so you don't have to worry about that. But the difference is we don't want the students going into the dining hall at all. We want to keep them away from that. Also, along with that, I will explain this to the students, but just so you have a heads up, our buses are going to park on the far side, down in where the parking lot is, instead of parking up by the porch where they typically do. The reason why is because with this group coming in to use the dining hall, they don't want us to disrupt that. And so we're going to tell the students to take all of their bags and put it down on the far side closest to the parking lot, and that is where the buses are going to pick them up. Okay, I don't want the stuff going on the bus yet until we're ready, until the bus drivers are ready, but they can just put them on the porch on the far side, not where they typically put them. So it'll be on the far side, down by the craft room, right outside. That's where they're going to put their luggage. And then when the buses get here, when you tell them to, they can load up on the bus, take all their belongings, and then we're done. Then we get to go home and we get to sleep. So that is the schedule for the weekend, okay? Your role. What is your role? I want you to be available, okay? Please make sure you're available to the students at any given point. It doesn't matter what time. I'm going to ask you to do that. You may have students that you're seeing that are struggling with something. Be there for the students, okay? Keep them focused. Keep them focused, whether it is in small group time or whether it's during the session time or whether it's during worship. Whatever it may be, we want to keep the students focused, okay? I don't want to see a lot of talking. I don't want to see students whispering and disrupting other students. They have got to be focused on what the Lord has for them for this weekend, okay? And so please help me with that. Make sure that they are paying attention. Remember also, they're all of our students. There is no campus-specific students this weekend. Truly, I want you to understand that they're all of our students. And so please be available to all of our students. Please make sure that you're telling the students to focus, that it doesn't matter if they're not your group. It doesn't matter if they don't go to your campus. If you see a student that's doing something wrong, speak up. Tell them not to do that. Make sure they're being respectful to the camp, to each other, and to other leaders. And so please remember that they are all of our students. Okay, this is the Point Youth Ministry. It's not individual campuses this weekend. All right, room control. Again, you control what's happening in your room. Make sure that your rooms are being respectful, again, to Camp Eligua, and that we're not messing things up, that we're not destroying the bathrooms or any of that stuff. And so make sure that your rooms are in control, okay, whenever you're there. Last thing I want to ask you to do, please, please, please spend time praying over this weekend. Okay, we truly believe that the enemy does not want this to happen. The enemy is fighting us already. We're already feeling it. We're seeing it. And the Lord is attacking families. We're seeing it across the board that families are being attacked. Frustrations are already starting to happen. And it's all because the enemy is trying to disrupt. I truly believe that. And so please be mindful of that and pray over yourself. Pray over the students. Pray over the leaders. Pray over Tyree. Pray over our worship team. Just pray that the Lord would cover the entire facility of Camp Eligua. And when we get there, that we could feel his presence. I know he's already there. I know that the Lord's already there, but it's important for us to be able to say, okay, we know that we have the covering of Jesus Christ there. And so that happens now. That happens right as you start watching this video. That start praying for that, please. Praying for the covering. Thank you again for listening to this video and for being part of the Point Youth Ministry, and specifically for being part of the Spring Retreat.